Out of all of the thousands and thousands of makeup products that exist out there, I have tested all of them. I do this for a living. I have narrowed it down to what I believe are the 7 makeup products that I believe you should spend your money on. I have other videos on my channel if you want to check out where to save money, but today I really want to show you what I feel is worth you actually investing in, so you have an amazing makeup collection that will never let you down. So the first makeup product I have are foundations. And I know a lot of you guys are out there going to be like, no, I disagree on this one. Hear me out. Do some drugstore foundations exist that are amazing? Absolutely, yes. I've talked about a couple on my channel. Like, for example, I love the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I think L'Oreal has some great foundation as well, but I say here to spend your money because I feel like the color range and the undertones of higher end foundations far outbeat drugstore. Now, can the formulas be somewhat comparable? Yes, but when it comes to the actual colors and the tones, like not having it too yellow or having it too pink or too chalky or not having enough shades for deep skin tone, that is a severe issue I see in drugstore foundations that I feel like higher end brands have the budget to actually do a little bit better. Plus, foundation is the one thing, you guys, that everyone sees on your face. You could have jacked up lashes, your brows may not be great, but if your foundation is not looking flawless, it almost downgrades the whole makeup look, if that makes sense. You want to have a flawless base, and everything else on it is just the icing on the cake. So for me personally, it's just my opinion, you guys, foundation is so important. So I'm going to run through really quickly which ones are my favorites. I've talked about these a lot on my channel, so I don't want to go into too much depth, but first one you guys will not be surprised about. I talk about her all the time, NARS Sheer Glow. If you need a dewy foundation that is medium to full coverage, if you're doing full glam, but you want a nice, dewy, glowy, natural look to the skin, I have not found a foundation yet that beats a NARS Sheer Glow. That's all I'm going to say on that. You're just going to have to trust me on it and go try it. I have multiple bottles. I think at this moment I have 6 bottles in my house. The next one is a newer one that just launched recently, and I've been testing it very hard because I want to give you guys a review. The Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. Have you all tried this? Oh my gosh, Urban Decay. Congratulations, you did it. It's a great foundation. This is a semi-matte foundation. They say it's matte, but when I test it, it has a slight sheen to it, but definitely more on the matte side. You guys, this gives such a flawless look to the skin. I'm over 40. It doesn't emphasize my pores or fine lines, and it lasts all day. And I don't have to set it with powder because it is waterproof. I put this on. I didn't put any powder on. It is hot as hell in Texas, very humid, and I'm telling you, the sucker lasted for hours and did not budge. It didn't oxidize or anything. It is an incredible formula. Just as a product formulator myself, I feel like the technology and the texture of this foundation is unlike anything that I've seen on the market. So I feel like it is a new innovative type formula that I really enjoy, and the packaging, incredible. If you want to see a review on that, I've got it on my Instagram. And the next one I have, a lot of people don't talk about because they don't really use it properly, but the Dermablend Flawless Creator, I've used this for years. I've probably purchased 12 bottles in the last several years because it makes a great concealer. If you need high pigmentation coverage, like you have really dark circles, really bad rosacea, anything like that on your face, and you need a flawless finish to the skin in just specific places to blend out, this is it. I don't apply it all over the face because it'll give you a mess, but every single day, I'm wearing it today for the last step when I want to clean up the eyes, brighten it, smooth it out, make it look flawless. This is what I apply down just under my eyes, and I'm telling you guys, get rid of my dark circles just like that. I have to have this in my collection. Or if I'm using a lighter weight foundation and I need to amp up the pigmentation a little bit, I'll add a drop of this to it to change the opacity of the foundation that I'm using. Just trust me on it, you guys. It's really great. Packaging sucks, but formula is amazing. Then the next makeup product I have are concealers. Now this, hands down, I think is definitely worth spending the money. Drugstore is getting a little better, especially NYX Cosmetics. I feel like they have a couple that are pretty good, but overall, I just don't enjoy drugstore concealers. I feel like the formulas are too thick or too cakey. They're not pigmented enough. So higher end brands, I feel like nailed it really well. You guys know I love these too. If you want to check out my concealer video, I'll link to it below, but the Lancome Tanti Doll Ultra Wear, chef's kiss. If I am not wearing any foundation, I'm in a hurry, I just need to cover up my dark circles, put on some mascara, this is the concealer I use. Comes in tons of different colors, blends out flawlessly, looks like natural skin. And then the other one that's a little bit more lightweight but a bit more pigmented is the Natasha Denona High Glam one. This is what I use when I have a full face of makeup. I put it on top of my foundation to brighten the skin, add an extra layer of coverage. It glides beautifully, doesn't settle into fine lines. Great formula. And then the third one is an honorable mention that I haven't talked about a lot on this channel, but I'm absolutely loving. It is the Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Corrector. So it's a corrector that I put underneath my foundation to get rid of dark circles. I have this nice peach color. Formula is flawless, smooth, blends really easily, but it's pigmented enough to actually cover my dark circles. Okay, now the third makeup product I have on my list that was actually going to include, it was highlighters. However, since I wrote this script, I have found some amazing drugstore highlighters like the e.l.f. Halo Glow Essence highlighters. I don't know if you guys have tried this. They're really beautiful and they're $4. They have this one and they also have the pure nude one, which are amazing. So I took the highlighters off the list and said, save your money, go to the drugstore. So the next category I would focus on instead would be blushes. Now, the hands down, drugstore just they have a long ways to go when it comes to blushes. There's a couple that have okay colors, but the texture's really dry. They don't have enough color options. Like, they need to get it together. However, high-end blushes have some amazing ones. One of my favorite that I love is the Valentino eye to cheek ones. I actually bought this, you guys, to roast it for a video because it was $52. And I was like, who the heck would spend $52 on a brush? Are they out of their mind? So I bought it to roast it, and the joke's on me because I fell in love with it and I was like, okay, Valentino, you win. It's actually worth $52 because it's an incredible blush, you all. The texture of this is so creamy, so smooth, feels like butter on the skin. They have a great color selection. The pigmentation is perfect. The packaging is beautiful. I don't have a single negative thing to say about this blush. It's incredible. And then you all know that I love the Tower 28 blushes for cream blushes. They have the greatest pigmentation. They're very creamy, easy to blend. They apply beautifully. They don't stick to the foundation. They don't get cakey or thick. And then the other cream blush that I like are the Merit blushes. The little pots here, these are the Flush Bombs. They have just the right amount of pigmentation if you want something more sheer. So the Tower 28 I wear when I have a full face of makeup. I'm wearing it today on my cheekbones. But if I have lighter makeup for day-to-day for running errands, I grab the Merit ones because they're a little bit more sheer and a little bit more glossy. So I feel like it's great for just a natural type look when you just want a flush glow to the cheeks. And then this one will be no surprise. It's a powder and cream duo. It is the Patrick Ta blushes. You have the cream on the top, you have the powder on the bottom. They come in so many different colors. The pigmentation of them is perfect. They're not too much. The texture of them is very smooth. They're very easy to blend. And again, the color selection is great. So everyone from super porcelain skin to deep skin can find a color that works for them. So I think he did a great job on that. Definitely worth the money for these. And then one last one I have is a liquid blush. Now, a lot of you guys are like, oh, Rare Beauty, a liquid blush. I'm gonna keep it real with you all. I know you Rare Beauty fans. I know you Selena fans. I know how you are. You probably have torches outside my house ready to pick it outside, demanding that I give them another chance. I don't like the Selena Gomez blushes. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. At least keep it real on here. Do I love her brand? Absolutely. Do I adore and respect and love Selena? I absolutely do. I just think those blushes are way too pigmented for a liquid blush. They're hard to work with. They're hard to blend. There's so much in a bottle. Who is going to go through that in an entire lifetime? So the one I like instead is the Say ones. I hope I'm saying this brand name right. It is their Dew blush. I have the color Rosy. It's a liquid blush, but in my opinion, it's a little bit less pigmented, a little bit more creamy, not quite as thin of a formula, and it blends really beautifully. For me, this gives me more of a natural kind of cheek color. It gives a beautiful glow to the skin. It's easier to work with than I think the Rare Beauty ones. I know you guys are hitting that unsubscribe right now. I'm just telling you, I keep it real on this channel. I like this one better. I like this one better. Then the next makeup product you'll never regret spending your money on is your setting powders. Now I have 5 here to show you all. They won't be a surprise if you've been on my channel for a bit. The One Size Beauty Blurring Setting Powder is the most beautiful, soft finish, blurs your skin, fills in the pores type powder I've ever used in my entire life. It's triple milled. It uses a high grade talc, so I don't have to worry about it irritating my skin at all. It gives me a nice mattifying finish, but it doesn't look cakey, doesn't look thick. It is my go-to loose setting powder that I use pretty much every day. And then if I want a pressed version of that, you guys know I love these as well, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Powder Foundations. It's technically a foundation and not a loose powder, but I use this to set my makeup because if I have a nice sheer foundation, but I need a little extra coverage and I need to really mattify the skin, I use this one because it works great in this hot, humid Texas heat. It holds up, it locks my foundation in, it gives me a nice matte finish, but it doesn't look cakey. It just looks very smooth and flawless on the skin, and it comes in so many different colors. I'm not joking, you all, when I say I have multiple shades of this, because I use it every single day. I probably buy one of these every 2 to 3 months. That's how much I use this. And then the next one will be no surprise because it's hyped up all over TikTok. It is the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. It comes in a lot of different colors here. This is so well loved because it's a very, very finely milled powder. I want to show you all the texture here on the screen. I'll try to get some close-ups of this. The reason why I think this is so incredibly popular and worth the price is because it has a slight sheen to it. I'm going to show you all on camera. So it blurs out the skin. It's very smooth, but if you pick up, there's this slightest bit of pearl in there. The tiniest bit, I think it's the mica, so it doesn't look flat or cakey. It gives a very natural sheen to the skin, so it looks like actual skin, but it still blurs everything, makes the skin look flawless. So hands down, if you want a high-end powder that's worth every single penny, I do think this one is worth the hype. And then another one that I've recently fell in love with is the Huda Beauty Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I have the baby version here because I was like, oh, let me just try it. I've tested it before, but I've never fully worn it on my skin for multiple days in a row to really try it. It's an incredible formula. The texture on this one reminds me a lot of the One Size Beauty, where it's a matte finish. It has a slight pigmentation to it. It's very smooth. It's a very soft texture. It sits on the skin beautifully. It doesn't emphasize any fine lines or pores. It is just a beautiful powder that gives you the most flawless looking skin. And I will say about this one specifically, it lasts for hours and hours and hours without ever breaking down or changing colors. The next makeup product I have that you'll never regret spending money on is bronzers and contours. Now, I know there's a few drugstore ones that are pretty good out there. I've talked about some, like Physicians Formula has a pretty good one. I think L'Oreal has a good one as well. But the reason I say you should spend your money on a higher end one is because the texture is going to be very smooth. It's not going to be powdery or chalky like some of the drugstore ones can be, but also the color. The color in the drugstore can be super ashy. It can be really orange. It can be too glittery. It's not the right finish. I feel like higher end brands do this really well, and it's another one of those products that can make or break your face. Make or break your face? Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But basically, if you have an orange bronzer contour, and I'm guilty of this, you guys, I've looked at pictures, I was like, oh, it's too orange. It can make your whole face just not look chic and elevated and put together. So having the perfect shade and finish of a nice bronzer gives you that warmth to the skin without it making you look like an Oompa Loompa. So I have 3 that I love. The Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer, hands down the best bronzer reviews. As you can tell, like, look, it's glazed over. I've hit pan. This is my second one that I've used in the last couple years. It's a great undertone. It's neutral. It's one of the only neutral bronzers I found. Most bronzers, like I said, will go a little too gray. They'll go a little too orange. This is a neutral. So everyone in every undertone can wear this bronzer, and it blends beautifully, perfect amount of pigmentation. This one, though, has beaten the bronzers of all time. I cannot stop wearing this one. I almost didn't buy it because it was so pricey, but I'm so glad I did. I've fallen in love with it. It is the Victoria Beckham Matte Bronzing Brick. It has 2 sides to it. One is supposed to be more of a bronzer, one's like a contour. This one's a little light for me, but this is shade number 2. The texture of it is so smooth. I wish you guys could reach through the screen and feel it. It is such a smooth, finely milled, silky formula that blends really easily. The pigmentation is perfect. It's not too much that it's going to give you a harsh line. It's not so light that you have to keep packing on layers and get that cakey, chalky appearance. It's the perfect pigmentation, perfect undertone. It's neutral, not too orange, not too gray. And then for a cream contour stick, I really like the Westman Atelier. This is the contour stick. This is the Face Trace contour stick. I have the shade Biscuit, which runs just a little bit cool for me. But if you have fair skin, a little bit lighter than me, I think this one would be perfect for you. This is what I'm wearing today under my jawline. When I want a natural contour, I don't want to bronze the face. I don't want to warm it up. I want to actually contour it. This is what I use under my jawline to chisel everything, make my chin fluff go away, if you know what I mean. I'll demo it in a video for you all. It's just a great stick to have to add that depth and dimension of shade and light. It's just perfect for contouring out your cheekbones, your jawline, everything that you want to chisel. And then the last category that I really, really strongly believe that you need to invest some good money in are your makeup brushes. Now, I have another video that goes into specifics of all the different brush shapes that you need to have. I'm just going to point out a few of my favorite brands that I think are worth investing money in because they do high quality brushes. They have soft bristles. The construction of them are made really well. They last a long time. The first brand I have is BK Beauty. Beauty. It's a woman-owned brand. Lisa is the owner of it. She's an absolute sweetheart, genuine person, but her brushes are very, very soft. They're fairly affordable. They're not super expensive, but the quality is very high-end. I use these brushes every single day. The 101 is my favorite brush because I can use it to buff in foundation. I can apply bronzer under here. I can apply blush if I tilt it this way. So many uses for this brush, but any brush from this brand is going to be incredible. The 109 is also a great brush. And then this brand will be no surprise to you all because I talk about them all the time. Anissa brushes. Hands down, my favorite foundation brush I've ever used is the Pinnacle foundation brush by them. With a triangle shape that helps you get under the eyes, around the nose, around the corners of your face, but it has a soft, kind of slightly rounded head so you can buff in the foundation. I use it to apply cream blush. So many purposes for this one. And then you all know that I love their angled concealer brush for applying concealer under the eyes. But again, Anissa Beauty, any brush that you get from them, fantastic quality. It's a women-owned brand. She's highly devoted to creating high-quality products. And then the third brand I have is Refer. They make amazing eye brushes personally. They have great face brushes as well, but personally, I adore their eye brushes. I met the owner, Tom. He's an incredibly genuine person. He tries to create the best quality for the fairest price points that he can. He's just a great authentic person. I really love the 01 brush for applying color in the crease, tapping on color on the lid. Like pretty much any brush that you guys get from Refer is going to be absolutely amazing. But the eye brushes especially are my favorite. And then the last brand I have is Sonia G. A lot of people online don't talk about this for some reason, but this is a professional quality brand. Her brushes are very full. They're very, very soft fibers, great multi-purpose brushes like this one. The Jumbo Blender here is a great eye brush that you can apply color in the crease. You can smoke out eyeshadow on the lid. You can apply concealer under the eyes. It's just a great multi-purpose brush. So hopefully this helps you all become smart shoppers and figure out where you should invest your money, you all. There's so many reviews out there of the products in these categories, but I think if you focus on these specific categories and spending your money here, save your money on the other things like lipsticks, eyeliners, mascaras, and all of that, but really invest in some quality things that you will use every day and hit pan on so you get your money's worth. I really think it'll change your makeup game. So let me know if this is helpful for you. If not, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week for another makeup video.